What's up, YouTube? This is Rambo coming today with another YouTube video. Today is my first class loadout video for Call of Duty Ghosts. We're going to be looking over at the main classes that I'll be using for domination. So let's get right underway. The first class I'm going to show you guys is my break-off class, which is, as most people, let's talk about a bit about the weapon choices first. A lot of people are kind of saying 4 ARs, but I still feel like a submachine gun is very useful for multiple reasons. Mainly, your positioning is really what matters with a submachine gun. You're always, if you're out of position, you have a sub in this game, you're kind of screwed a lot because you're going to be facing an AR that's obviously a weapon that's much stronger than your sub. So I'm going to be doing some TLR videos once I figure out the best ways to play as a sub player. But as of right now, I'm still doing pretty good slang-wise with a submachine gun on most of the maps. Some of the maps is very difficult to use a sub on, but I feel like there's always these routes that you can take to make yourself very, very useful to your team. And there's still this movement speed that gives you that agility if you get a middle map spawn to push their base and be aggressive with a submachine gun, something more so than an AR. So you still have that. You still have a useful player. You're still a useful player as a sub player if you are mainly like using submachine guns more than ARs. You just got to be more. Very much more objective-minded, and kind of like if you're in a bad situation, you really got to be ready to die a lot for your team to get map position and then make plays for objective and such. So the first class I'm going to show you guys is my break-off class. I use the MTAR first of all. That's pretty much my main. That's my submachine gun I use. I use it with mostly a grip and the muzzle brake or a silencer. You'll see some classes that I have the silencer on it. I'll explain to you why the difference and why and when to use so. So my break-off class has a smoke, and for perks, I'm using agility, which is pretty much lightweight. I'm using marathon, which allows me to sprint across the map very quickly. I got focus, and then I got tac resist and blast shield, which is pretty much like tac mask and then flat jacket from Call of Duty Ghosts, Black Ops, excuse me. Black Ops 2, which allow me to, let's say we're playing domination and we get a few quick kills. I'll get straight on the objective and be able to resist all these stun grenades and such and grenades that people throw at me. And I still have focus against, in case I get into a gunfight, I'm still able to at least give myself a standing chance to win a gunfight. Without focus, winning a gunfight is practically impossible. So that's pretty much the my first class setup. So this is obviously the class I'll be using at the start of every map. It's just to get really on the map as fast as I can. Try and get to a choke point before my opponents get to that choke point, and just kind of like open up the map for my team off the start. My second class, I'll show this class as well. This is pretty much my AR class that I'll use to slay. Whenever my team, if it's a big map, like let's say it's a map that's a really open map, like I'll use an example like Warhawk. Warhawk is a map where B is really in the open. So using a submachine on that map can work in certain situations, but if you have map control on Warhawk, you should really have 4 ARs. That's really, in my opinion, the way you should play it as of now. Mostly because killing people off B from, let's say, top drug, which I'll go over call-out videos pretty soon for those who are wondering. But for now, like top drug is the building with a window right next to the B side in the middle of the map. If you have an AR up there, you're pretty much going to get a few kills all the time when your team is trying to make a push. And there's like a lot of power positions you can use an AR on that aren't as easy to do with a sub. So, but I'm still using a sub a lot on that map. I'll explain the difference and such. But this is my AR class. I get 3 attachments. I got muzzle brake, the grip, and the red dot. And then for my perks, I have Stalker, Quick Draw, Dead Silence, and obviously the 3 extra attachments perk. This is pretty much my slaying AR. That's pretty much like the most selfish class you can have. This is really like a kill class. There's really nothing else this class offers, which a class, like I say, I'll use very, very rarely. All right, so here's my main classes. These are my main class. I get 4 of the class. I got pretty much these 2 classes are the exact same, but one of them has a silencer and one of them has a muzzle brake. And then these 2 are all 4 of these classes are the exact same except for my tactical equipment, which is changes. As you can see, the first 2 is a smoke grenade, as you can see by the name, and the next 2 is a stun grenade, and then obviously like the silencer and the muzzle brake and silencer muzzle brake for the 2. So as well, I use a Semtex, not an actual grenade. Once I figure out, I'll be probably checking over nade spots and such for certain bomb sites, like certain dom sites. If we're going to be playing domination competitively, nade spots are going to be a very big factor in the game type. Since they'll allow you to kind of like, if a team goes straight for an objective, you can just kind of like throw a nade at the objective and get away with weakening them or killing them even. So the meta of the game is going to change a lot once people figure that out. So like you'll see objective player use a lot of blast shield, because if you get on an objective, like say on Octane, on B bomb site in the middle, and that crate, if you get on that objective and you don't have blast shield and you die to grenade, then that whole push is useless. So it's going to be very important to have some of that, some kind of that stuff to actually be able to survive grenades. But as of right now, it's not really. So explaining my class here. For perks, I'm using agility, which is lightweight, which allows me to move around the map quicker. I'm using quick draw, dead sounds, and focus, which are all perks that allow me to get kills and get around the map quickly without being hurt. So focus, quick draw are the main two setup for a submachine gun. You don't really need stalker with a sub. Some people will use it, but I feel like the 3 points is too much. I really think you have to focus on using lethal grenades and tactical grenades, because in certain situations you can, especially when you get on objectives. Let's say these are mainly domination class setup, because all we play so far is domination. So these are really like classes that allow you to do a lot of domination. Mainly like a smoke, you cut off a choke point or cut off an area of the map to get on the flag, or you can even toss it on the flag itself and get on the objective and try and cap it. And then a grenade will allow you to cut off a choke point once you get on that objective. So if you know, like let's say you know where they're spawning, you can kind of throw a grenade at that choke point to buy yourself a second or two even more, or even get a kill out of it. So it's really important to have those. So my last thing I want to explain is my attachment. So pretty much I use a foregrip because it takes the recoil out. If you don't have a foregrip with a submachine gun, I'm sorry to say, you're not going to kill anything unless it's right next to you. And even ARs are like, it's kind of like lame to say, but ARs are like stronger than submachine guns close range. If you're like I've been losing so many hipfire battles against ARs, it's like ridiculous. So it's kind of like lame to say, but it is what it is. You just really like, the only ups as far as like killing with a submachine gun you have is the movement speed that will allow you to get around the map quicker and like kind of like surprise your opponents. And it's easier to make a push with a sub than it is with an AR. Killing an AR that's L-training around a corner is easier to do with a sub if you jump around than you do with an AR, in my opinion. So like I said, the last thing I want to explain is the silencer, the change from the silencer to the muzzle brake. So the important thing to note is the silencer is something that allows you to stay off the minimap, which is something that's really, really big in this game, since there's nothing you can do to take yourself off the minimap. Like there's no, as far as like EMP grenades and such that screw the minimap, we don't have any of that anymore. We have like, actually, do we have that? No, we have like the 9-bang can kind of like screw it up a bit, but it's really like, it's kind of weird. It's not really like, we don't have anything like similar to the EMP grenade that's really like nuts, like the EMP grenade. So I don't think I've used this thing yet. Fuel air grenade that creates a large but low damage blast rate and weakens armor. That's kind of crazy. I didn't know about it, but regardless. Like I said, the main difference between the muzzle brake and the silencer that you want to be using it is, in my opinion, if you're trying to break an objective, the muzzle brake is definitely your best bet, because you're going to be encountering gunfights that aren't necessarily, you don't really choose your gunfights when you're breaking a setup. So if I'm trying to break something, I'll probably be using the muzzle brake, because every kill matters more importantly. Like a single kill can matter a lot. But if my team has control of the map, I'm going to go ahead and use my silencer, because this will allow me to get kills without opponents really knowing my position, my exact position. So this will allow me to rotate around the map a lot quicker, kill people off. Like let's say I'm near B dom site and they're jumping on and I get a first kill. Like the second player will take that much longer to react to me, because I'll have that silencer that didn't show me on the minimap. So it's a big up to a sub player to not be on the minimap, because this game is really about speed and like reaction time. So that's the biggest difference. It's not really like about holding a shot for that much longer and then your opponent reacting because you've been shooting for a while. It's really about getting those quick kills and those quick shots off without your opponent being able to react. So the silencer is actually a really good thing in this game, and I think we'll be seeing a lot more of it. So that's really the main reasoning between the two. So like I said, once you have map control, use the silencer, in my opinion. And when you don't have map control, you can use the muzzle brake. And as far as using a stun grenade or a smoke, it really depends on the map you're playing. I can't really explain like for every map, but like I'll feel like certain situations, certain flags, a stun grenade is actually more useful than a smoke. But like really, it really comes down to the point when if you're trying to break a hill, a smoke grenade is going to be much more useful than a stun grenade. So hope you guys enjoyed the class setup video today for Domination. Like I said, if you have any questions in the comment section, you can go ahead. If you have things you want to share with me, go ahead and share it. I'll talk about it in my next video if I feel it's really useful and really important to this game. And yeah, I'll be coming out with more of these more often. Obviously, a video a day or more is really my goal for the first month or two of Call of Duty Ghosts. So hope you guys have a great day and a great night. And we'll be scrimming pretty soon. My Twitch channel is going to be in the description below. And yeah, hope you guys have a great night. Peace, buds.